everybody, how are we doing? Welcome to my channel, Boomy Reactions, and I am Boomy. Hello. So today, guys, I would like to share a foodie video with you, a recipe video. So it's another food video. I know, I'm all about the food. I love food. Massive foodie. So today, guys, I have found a video. So it's making porcupine meatballs. I've heard of porcupine meatballs. I have no idea what they are. So it's got to be something, some addition to a meatball that resembles a porcupine. So I can't imagine what it is, you know, something that's edible. I can't picture what it is that, you know, is put into meatballs. Is it, I don't know, I'd say crackers, but why would you want something sharp in a meatball if you're going to eat that meatball? So I'm not going to lie, I've got no idea what these are. So let's get straight into the video here. What's on this gentleman's shirt? Life is short, lick the spoon. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Oh my gosh, that should be engraved on the somewhere in my kitchen. I love that. Right, here we are, guys. Porcupine meatballs, easy to make. Let's have a look how to make porcupine meatballs. And as ever, guys, if you are enjoying these reactions, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We're thrilled to have you here. Today is Sunday, so you know that it's another subscriber Sunday for us.
Oh, that's
On Sundays,
cute.
we use recipes that have been sent to us from our subscribers. And today's recipe comes from Sabrina Tidwell in Grady, Alabama. Now, Sabrina sent 4 recipes. She didn't send a letter with them, but she sent 4 really good recipes. And I have chosen one of those 4 to do today. We're going to make porcupine meatballs. Now, this is a recipe I've never made, but I have eaten it several times before. When I was growing up, it's a recipe that my mom made, and even my Aunt Maxine made porcupine meatballs, and I can remember them making those.
So, is this a staple in any state in particular, or is it a widely made recipe, like, you know, similar to a sloppy Joe? Or is it very specific, or did it originate in one state or another? Let me know, guys.
But I've never made them. So when I saw Sabrina's recipe for these, I thought, okay, here's my chance. I'm going to give these a try. So today we're going to make porcupine meatballs. Let's talk about what we're going to use. First, we need some ground beef. And we've got 1 pound here, which is what the recipe calls for. Now, because we're mixing this up like a meatloaf and you don't cook the meat first, I'm using a 93.7 blend of meat, which is, as far as I know, the least fat you can get in ground beef.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is that I don't want a lot of grease coming out of this meat while the meatballs are cooking in the oven. I don't want grease in my sauce that goes over the meatballs. So I got 93.7. I would never use 93.7 to make hamburgers for us if I were grilling hamburgers, because I like the fat in the hamburger when I'm grilling a hamburger. It gives it flavor. But I just don't think that would work in these, so I did get the 93.7. And you...
Oh, so you guys get 93.7. Ours go up to 95. So we have 5, 10, 12, 15, 20. But we refer to them as percentages. So it's exactly the same thing, really. We just refer to the fat content. So we'd say, you know, a 95.5, we'd say that's 5% lean. Same thing. Okay, so this, so slightly, ever so slightly fattier than a 95% lean, which would be a 5%, as we would say over in the UK. Gotcha.
You may want to look for that too. And with that ground beef, we are going to add 1/2 cup of instant rice.
Okay.
Yes, we're using minute rice. You don't want to use the long cooking rice. And we need 1/2 cup of water, along with 1/3 cup of chopped onion. And we're going to chop that in just a minute. We're also going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I'll set that over there. 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, and 1/8 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now that's what's going to make our
Tasty.
meatballs. Then for the sauce to go over them, we're going to use a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce mixed with 1 cup of water and 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Now, if you don't pronounce it Worcestershire, I will not make fun of you for pronouncing it incorrectly.
Will you make fun of me for being British and pronouncing it the British way, though? Worcestershire sauce.
But if you pronounce it another way, I expect that same courtesy back.
It
I've
doesn't
always
look
said
how it's
Worcestershire.
pronounced.
That's what I'm always going to call it. Okay, so we're going to lay Sabrina's porcupine meatball recipe right there. And we're going to start by getting 1/3 of a cup of onion diced. So let's just chop this up. Now, I would think we want a fairly fine dice because even though these are going to cook for an hour, this onion is going in raw. So I would think we need a pretty fine dice on the onion.
I totally agree.
And it doesn't take much. Now you can see here, I'm going to slice this really thin because I just feel like it needs a chance to cook up in those meatballs. And I don't think it'll even take half of this Vidalia onion. I absolutely love Vidalias. I think they are such good onions.
I keep hearing.
I really think that's
Vidalia
probably plenty. And I'm just going to run my knife through those just to make sure they're chopped up pretty well. Even though I know they are, I'm just going to run my knife through those quickly. Okay.
I do exactly the same.
Let's measure out 1/3 of a cup. Wouldn't it be neat if we had exactly 1/3 of a cup? That probably would never happen.
It never happens. I was just going to say.
Nope. Not a chance. Okay. Just a little bit more. I'm going to pack those in because,
pack them in.
After all, onions are a flavor. You know what? That's not that much, is it?
It's making me laugh because literally I'm watching him and I'm thinking, I'd pack them in. I'd throw them in. And he's doing it just before I finish the thought and before I've got a chance to say. See, good cooks think alike, don't they? Us foodies.
I'm just going to use all of that. Huh?
I would have added it.
I'm going to.
Yes.
It's not that much. I see a piece
A
right
little
there
bit more
that's not
onion never
chopped
did
up.
no harm.
I'm going to chop it. Okay. I'm just going to add all of it. Won't hurt. Okay.
It won't hurt.
So let's get everything in our bowl and start mixing. Let's start with our ground beef. We'll put in our rice, our 1/2 cup of water, our onion, and we need our spices in. Did your mom ever make porcupine meatballs?
You know, I don't think my mom ever made meatballs, period.
Never?
I don't think so.
Really?
We would have spaghetti with meat sauce, but not meatballs. I
Well,
don't think she ever made any kind of meatballs.
even like with your spaghetti, you didn't have spaghetti and meatballs?
Nope, we had meat sauce, but not meatballs.
Okay.
Meat sauce like
Well,
a
I mean,
spaghetti
if
bolognese.
you've got meat sauce, it's pretty
same
much the
thing?
same thing, isn't
Right.
it? Yeah. Okay. Let's put in 1 teaspoon of salt. And then it says 1/8 teaspoon. And the smallest measuring spoon I have is 1/4. So I'm going to use half of it.
I love how tiny they are by
And-
the time you get to the 8.
1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. And if I get a little extra of that in there, I'm not going to worry about that too much because that's just flavor. All right. Now, I have washed my hands. I just want to make this clear. And if you're going to make this, you better scrub your hands too. We had somebody in one video that was just appalled that I had mixed up something, I don't know if it was meatloaf or something, and had worn my ring. Well, my ring does not come off my hand.
Oh.
We've been married 30 years last month, and my ring has only been off twice, and that was when I had surgery. This ring does not come off. But when I wash my hand, I do pull it down and hold my thumb there and wash under my ring and wash my finger. So my finger and my ring are clean, I promise you.
Well explained. Now, I've got to agree with the viewer that noticed that the idea of of mixing things. I'm very funny with things being on my hands. I don't like the sensation of having sticky hands or anything on my hands. I'm constantly having, not to wash them so much, but wipe things off. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you cook a lot or bake. You know, I can't stand anything. At the time when I'm mixing something, you know, it's fine because you know you're mixing and da-da-da-da-da. But yeah, I'm very funny about things being on my hands. So I'm also funny about wearing jewelry when I cook. I can't do it. I know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to agree with that viewer. I have to take everything off, bracelets included, and hair has to be tied back as well before I do. I think even before I start cooking, period. Cooking anything, but especially when you're having to get your hands in like this. Oh, the idea of wearing any jewelry. It's obviously a personal thing. I don't know why. It makes me feel, gives me the ick. I think they say it makes me feel very kind of like, oh no, I need to take them off. But like I say, I'm funny with washing my hands anyway.
And nobody's going to be eating these but the two of us anyway, so. Oh my goodness, this is going to be so good. Now, it doesn't say on the recipe, but my suspicion is you really don't want to overwork this meat. You don't want it to become tough. So you just want to get those spices and that onion mixed in, get that water combined with it. And the reason you need that water is for the rice. It will help that rice, especially since we're using really, really lean meat. There's not going to be much grease in there for it to absorb. So that rice needs that liquid.
Is the rice why it's called the porcupine?
It is, because the rice kind of looks like porcupine quills.
This will be a first for me.
I can't believe you've never had porcupine. We didn't have them a lot, but I can't believe you never had them. Your mom is such a good cook. I would have thought this would have been right up her alley. The truth is, and I love my mom dearly, she passed away in 2015.
Oh.
But she was not a natural cook. My dad was by far the cook. But I'm going to tell you, Melissa's mom knows how to cook. She can really cook. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands off before I start scooping out the meatballs. So give me just a second. All right, we are making our meatballs. And I am using a scoop just because I want to make sure that my meatballs are all approximately the same size. That way they cook evenly and they're all done at the same time. So I am using a scoop. If you want to use a scoop, you can do that. You just decide what size you want. This one is about a 2.5 to 3 tablespoon scoop. Sabrina's directions, the instructions for the recipe say to make them a little smaller than a golf ball. So this is about the right size. And I've gotten 16 out of it, and I've got just a little bit left over. You know what? Let's just make one bigger one, because that's not enough to make one more. And I don't want to waste it. We don't want to waste food, do we? So I'll just make one that's a hair bigger, and we will squeeze it in right there. Okay, now the next thing we have to do is make our sauce to go over the meatballs. So we're going to start by adding our 15 ounces of tomato sauce to a bowl, and then we'll add our water and our Worcestershire sauce. And we want to make sure we get all of that tomato sauce out of there, because this is really, this and the water is the only liquid we're going to have. So make sure you get it all. You don't want to leave any of that in there. All right. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to put just a little bit of that water in there. And kind of slosh that around.
Don't waste any of the tomato.
All of that out there. Okay.
Yeah.
And now we'll add the rest of our water. Push off my spatula to get all that tomato off there. And our 2 teaspoons. Yeah, I can't get that to open.
So what's interesting is Heinz the leading brand of Worcestershire sauce in the USA. Over in the UK, our leading brand is probably Liam Perrins, which is bizarre because we love Heinz everything. But funnily enough, it's not the leading brand of Worcestershire sauce. I just thought about that then. It's really, really odd because, yeah, we love Heinz ketchup, Heinz tomato soups and all the soups, Heinz baked beans, although my preference is Branston. And yes, I didn't even realise that Heinz do a Worcestershire sauce because over here it's Liam Perrins. Odd. Really odd.
2 teaspoons of Worcestershire. Ooh, that one went over a little bit.
Generous teaspoon. Yes, yeah.
And then I'm just going to whisk that together. I have been warned by somebody to do this gently so I don't slosh it all over my clothes.
I wonder who would have ever thought you would have sloshed anything out to use those fancy culinary terms.
I can't imagine why you would think I would do that.
Just, long shot.
Yeah. Like I do it every time I cook. Oh my. We were talking about your mom earlier. What a good cook she is. What was your favorite thing she made? You have one?
Oh, definitely. Pot roast.
Pot roast.
Aww.
You still love pot roast.
I do. Hers was fabulous.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I won't try to compete with that.
Can never compete with a mom or a grandma. That's even harder.
That's even harder.
Don't even try that.
Yeah, no. Can't do that. Can't compete with a grandma. So, Joyce's pot roast.
Grandma's cooking is always the best.
With potatoes and carrots. Oh my gosh.
And onions.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Did she do it in a pressure cooker?
She did.
My mom did too.
I was never good at.
We
never enjoyed
had
cooking with a pressure cooker.
we had pot roast every Sunday. That was just a given.
Oh no, we didn't
Sounds
have
like
it
a
quite that
Sunday
often,
dinner
but
over
We had
here.
it every Sunday. If it was
dinner.
Sunday, we were eating pot roast. And I had a friend who came home with me most Sundays after church because he loved my mom's pot roast.
Oh.
So that was just almost a given. That's what we were having. And that was because when church was over, she could go home and throw that in the pressure cooker and it could be ready really fast. All right, now, Sabrina's directions say cover with tin foil, bake for 45 minutes. Let's see, doesn't matter which side's down, I don't think so, but I'll turn it that side down. Bake for 45 minutes at 350, then uncover, spoon the sauce over the balls, and bake uncovered for 15 more minutes. So that's what we're going to do. So I've covered it pretty tightly here. We want it to keep all that heat in. And our oven is preheated to 350. So we're going to go in for 45 minutes. Then we'll uncover it and we'll bake it 15 more uncovered before we come back and try it. So in we go.
The tomato mixing in with all those like meat sauces there.
Oh my, these absolutely smell wonderful.
The house does smell good, doesn't it?
Yeah, Melissa just came through the house and said, this house smells wonderful. And it does. It smells so good. So, let's try a meatball. That looks so good. I have mashed potatoes and green beans on the stove. That's what we're going to have with these. Ooh, babe, these are hot. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spoon a little of this gravy, tomato gravy,
Ooh,
right on top
yes.
of those. Because that has to make it good, right?
Sure smells wonderful.
It sure does. All right, are you taking the first bite?
I'm going to wait.
Okay. Well, we're eating in like
I know.
3 minutes, so I better not take a huge bite, had I?
Ooh,
it is steaming,
yes.
so it's hot.
Is it like you remember them?
Mm-hmm. It is. And for the sauce to be so simple, I mean, it was just tomato sauce, water, and Worcestershire. It's very good. Very simple, very plain, delicious.
Doesn't have to be fancy and complicated to be tasty.
That's right. And the onions are done, but they've got just a tad bit of crunch to them, which I really like. They're not mushy at all.
How about the rice?
The rice is perfect. It's a really good dish. Thank you, Sabrina. We do appreciate you sharing this recipe with us. We would like to ask you to do us a favor and go right below the video and click the like button. Also, that share button that's right below the video, and you can put this on your own page so your friends and family can see it. And if you've never done it before, you only have to do this once. We sure would appreciate you clicking that subscribe button, the little notification bell beside of it, and the word all. That just subscribes you to our page so you'll never miss another video. Remember that right below the video, Melissa always puts the written directions. She puts that recipe right there in the description box. If you'll click where you see the title and the word more, that box will expand. The recipe is right there, and our contact information is under that. Now, this is a subscriber recipe. So this is a recipe that Sabrina mailed to us. And if you want to send in a recipe or recipes, you're welcome to get our contact information out of that description box right under the recipe and mail us some recipes if you'd like to. We do have to get them through the mail. We cannot print all the recipes off of the comments section. So you will have to mail them to us if you want us to have them. There is a comment section right at the bottom of the screen down below this video, and we love reading your comments. So feel free to go right down there and leave us a comment. We love hearing from you. We want you to remember that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. And more importantly, we want you to remember that God loves you, and so do we. Have a great day.
Aww. Oh, he's so lovely. Right, okay. Those meatballs are making me feel very, very hungry. I like a thick sauce. You know, I'd like the sauce to be a little bit thicker, so a little bit more kind of simmered down. How would you do that without affecting how it cooks the rice? I wonder, maybe if you thickened it up a little bit before you added it, but not too much, because obviously I think the rice needs a little bit of juice there to cook from the sauce, but I think maybe it's more the steam of the meat juices. So possibly able to thicken the sauce a little bit for that recipe. I like the idea of the rice being in the meatballs. Now, normally my meatballs, I tend to prefer like a mix between minced pork and minced beef, so ground beef and ground pork. I don't know, I like the flavour of the pork being in there, but I feel like the addition of the beef kind of, it stops the pork from drying out, and it gives you the flavour and the fattiness from the pork as well. So it's like, I don't know, like playing Dr. Frankenstein and making the perfect meatball. But I do it for burgers as well. I find that it works quite nicely for meatballs. But I've never tried to cook them in a sauce like this. I would normally cook the meatballs and then add them to a sauce. So interesting. I might have to try this recipe. Sounds lovely. I would like the sauce a little bit thicker, but that is the only addition I would make. Like the only little, not even a tweak, it's a personal preference, I think. But what did he say he was eating with them? Did he say mashed potato? Mashed potato and green beans. Yes, please. Getting very hungry now. Watching all of these foodie videos give me some great ideas for dinner. So I hope you enjoyed watching that with me, guys. Take care of yourselves for now, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.